If you're just tuning in on YouTube, we are going to resume the rapid play, but we're going to do it on the ChessNut move. With one little caveat is that if we get into time pressure, we're going to resort back to just using the mice, just so we're not at too much of a disadvantage, which we're going to be because we need to wait for the pieces to move, but hopefully the 15 plus 10 allows us enough wiggle room with that where we will be able to stay on the board as much as possible. Afterwards in the analysis, we will go through all the positions on the analysis board in the computer, and there will be lots of arrows and stuff like that. Before the game, we're going to try and just visualize. So I know this may not be as appealing if you're sitting watching it, but hopefully you can follow along and help to improve your calculation and visualization as well. So with that said, let's try and jump into a rated game. I think we lost both of our last games. Rating is 1968. We may get a black game. Okay, so we are black. Let's get this switched around. Okay, now. We may have a Jubava London, or we may have a regular London. So let's just play d5. London, okay. Okay. And I think we'll play the c5 line. Okay. Queen b6 early, I believe. Normally I play the immediate c5, but because of the move order, I actually prefer playing this. Queen defends. Okay. Means we can play knight c6. And now if we can, I'm looking to play bishop f5, but if we play that, are we worried? I'm wondering, should I play h6 first to prepare that? But if they get the bishop there first, that may not be ideal. Okay, let's play the bishop here, and then we'll play h6 on the next move. Okay, we will mirror that. Now we're already time down on the clock. I'm just going to bring the bishop back here. I don't mind if he takes the knight. And we were threatening to fork. So a fairly boring position. He might go knight to b3. He does. Now I do have a long-term plan, maybe of f5, f4. It does strike me that that they're probably looking to play bishop to d3 to challenge our light squared bishop. Okay, let's try and get developing castle first. And if they play bishop to d3, yeah, okay. Okay. Then I think they're going to play knight to d2. Now, is it worth playing c5, aiming to play c4? If they play... If we play c5, they play knight to d2, we play c4 anyway. If they take with the knight, we can't take with the pawn, we lose a pawn there. So I just think we castle for now. I think c5 is probably a good move. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. For some reason I thought I had knight to g4. But I do have bishop to h4. If he plays pawn to, okay. I think that's a mistake. think we check with the knight. He takes with the bishop. I take his bishop. Okay. Okay, and I think we have to take this. Okay, we take his bishop. Now we can play c5, c4, and we are attacking b2. Hello, puppy. Hello, pet. Watch the microphone now. Watch the mic. There we go. Okay. Well, we don't need to take it though, or we don't need to succumb to that. We can stay. We can give a check on b5. Maybe the king moves, and then we can play a rook to f to c8 maybe. Okay. Now he can't just block with the queen, which he does. Okay, down you go, pet. Let me just check how this board is sitting on the camera. A little bit slanty. Okay. I don't really want to trade queens, but we don't have an awful lot of options. And we don't have an awful lot of options because the knight can come into c5. So how are we going to deal with that? The knight won't come into c5. Okay. Let's see if we can bait the knight to c5. Rook f to c1, rook a to c1. I'm gonna go rook f to c1. Okay, we are very much down on the clock. Very, very, very much down on the clock. Oh, I'm just realizing we could have played, we still can play, but we can play queen to b5 check. Okay. I say we push this knight back first. I know we're making that pawn very weak. And if we pin the pawn, he can play. Oh no, but then okay, let's take it. If we go rook b8, he pushes b3. We take. He takes. He takes with the rook. Now we can lose a pawn here, but I'm banking on the safety of our king. Okay. Okay, I'm thinking rook to d5. Rook to d5. Okay. Rook to d5. Hoping for e4. Then we're going to take, and that's going to open up our dark square bishop. If we then bring the other rook to d8 again, we have the potential to win the queen with rook to d2. And the king is very cut off. He can play f4, and that's, but he can't do it before we sort out this rook situation on the d file, I don't think. Yeah. He obviously can't take the rook because then he loses his other rook. And if he ever loses contact with the b2 pawn, that can be devastating because we can take it. And he has ways of blocking at the moment, but later, if things stay the way they are, there's a chance we can mate on f2. We can also go after the f2 pawn or the b2 pawn immediately with something like bishop to e5. Which could be good, but then it gives the king more squares. The king can move out of the pin. And finally, our opponent's having a little think. I think once we dip below 4 minutes, I may have to switch, depending on how big of a think our opponent takes here. Yep. Okay, let's take. Oh, he can hide away, huh? Let's give this check, and then we will play a slow move. He can't go back. He can't take the pawn. But if he goes king c8, we give a check. He has to go king to b1. Then, yeah. Then we can just take the rook, sack the queen, I believe. Bishop f4, king b1, queen takes c4, queen takes c4, rook to d1, queen has to go back mate. Okay, I think we got this one. But this has to work. Queen takes rook, queen takes queen, rook to d1 check. I think that wins. No, it doesn't. But we do win the queen back. Right? We take the rook, takes the queen. We play rook to d1. The queen has to go back. No, because the queen... We could do that now, though. We could go... We could keep the queens on the board. Queen takes rook. Queen takes queen. Rook to d1 check. King to c2. Rook to Oh, what about rook to d2? Okay, we're going to have to switch to the computer. We can go here. He can still take. Ah, and this way we do win the queen. Here, 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 and then we win the queen. And the thing is, we can take this. If he takes here, then same thing, we take. He goes here. Then we go here. King up, rook, here, and we win the queen. Can he go here? I don't know. I think if he goes anywhere here, we can just take. He can't get. But if he gets the knight out, then he definitely gets mated. King can go here, or pawn can go here, and king can escape this way. Right. Okay. That's just mate. Whew. I didn't consider that. I didn't know why I didn't consider it. There was just something about it just looked incorrect, and that is why. Okay, so that was a very good game. Let's analyze very quickly. So, London, and this is the 3c5 line. And normally, whenever I play against the London, especially if they play bishop here, I automatically strike with c5. I like it, but I don't have as good a win with it as I really wish that I did. So I'm on the Chess Centurions Discord, hanging out with all the good people over there. And one of the users, Porky, recommended, and a couple of other users play this line as well, recommended the 3c5 line. So I've been messing about with it, and it seems to have worked pretty well for us in this game. So let's let the analysis run. We can generate some parts of the analysis that we want to focus on. So it seems to be a little bit laggy with this. Let me shut this down. Okay. So they defend the pawn like this. There are a couple of other options. They can sack the pawn. They can play this. Or I believe they can try this immediately, in which case we can't take the pawn. Because if we do, I think they can come. Maybe they just go in here because this is defended, and then we lose rook. So we can't take the pawn immediately if they play this, but London players typically don't want to play this unless they're playing the Jabab London, which sometimes they do transition to. But our opponent chose to, I said that oddly, our opponent chose to defend the pawn with queen to c1, which is fine. And we will probably get other games in the London with this line, and I will show you one of the main sort of ideas and plans in the position. To be honest, I'm actually quite new to playing this version of black against the London, so that is the only plan that I actually have. So in this game, we were very much winging it. Yes, Pet, once we analyze the London, I know, the London is very, very boring. I know, but we've got to do it. Oh, well. The London is very boring, I know, Pet, but it needs to be done because so many people play it. So our opponent decided to play this. Most of it I was just basically developing. I will be interested to see, because I know that this light square bishop is quite important because of all of these light square weaknesses. And I wanted to get there first. The queen will struggle to support the bishop to here in many lines, and to do so they have to burn another tempo. They've already moved the queen to defend this pawn, and then they have to spend tempos moving the knight so that the pawn is no longer being attacked, and then they can defend this bishop here. The only thing about this is the knight maneuver to here. Now it does attack the bishop, and I don't know what I would have done necessarily. I probably would have moved back, I think, because if the bishop ever comes here uncontested, we do have the ability to push this, which also happens if the queen lands here, or lands here to challenge our queen. So you're okay, but you're okay. So although we do lose the ability to control these squares with the bishop, the knight is also misplaced here, and you know, we do have the potential for this, weakening our own king side, but it does result in a fork. If they play this, the knight, they may see what's happening, the knight may go back, in which case we can then play this, and we've both wasted a bunch of tempo, but at the end of the day, we now have the ability to place the bishop here and retreat it like we did in the game. So, interested to see if this, I believe this is going to be the right move, because we need to challenge this directly. But that was my considerations as to whether the knight can attack the bishop, and whether that matters long term. I think it does, because if we go here and here, then they can play this. We can go here, but they can bring the bishop back here, and then the diagonal is controlled and we can't return there. So I think this is important to play. I'm not sure what we would do if they played the knight here. I don't think we can just, I think we need to keep the light square bishop, and maybe use it later for something else. Maybe it's a thing where we go here and fianchetto. I don't know, because the knight is then just misplaced, and playing a fianchetto setup isn't the worst thing against London anyway. Even though it is hemmed in with these pawns, we do have the ability to strike at the center and break this down. So like almost all of our pieces are all pressuring the center here. So that is one thing that we need to check for this line. They play h3 again to discourage us playing a similar move against their very strong dark square bishop. So now we have the ability to play h6, and actually maybe it will be the case that if they attack our dark square bishop, or our light square bishop, that we attack their dark square bishop and we just have a mutual trade. Although ours can be recaptured is the thing. Okay, you're okay, you're okay. Just don't want you messing with the mic. Good people on YouTube will be very mad. So, they take, we take back, very simple. Here we just save the bishop. I did not mind this, as we can see the beginning of the opening of these files for us, whether they put the queen here to defend against our queen and we push and they take and open the F file, or they as they did here, take our knight, and then we have the ability later on in the game, once this bishop is no longer annoying us, to occupy the B file with our rook and put tremendous pressure on the B2 pawn. So I could see, I knew where they were going. I had a fair idea they were going to attack the queen to defend this pawn, even though maybe from a positional standpoint, the pawn's already defended. It can be pushed or defended again, and I think the knight is probably better in the center of the board. Now you can argue that you can go to this square from here as well, but so maybe it doesn't actually matter. But I guess the difference of bringing it here is that you also get the option of arriving at e5 and attacking the light square bishop. So we solidify our center, and yeah, this is a mistake. This is another point I would like to see. I think it's probably going to be the case that this is better because you have access to the square like you do here, but you also have access to the square to harass the bishop. So this was a mistake or an inaccuracy. But the whole point for them was that they can free up the queen a little bit, which to be fair they kind of could have done anyway, but they are running into this move as we see later in the game. Now this is sort of the more tactical part of the opening here. I seen this. There must have been a way. I'm pretty sure there is going to have been a way. So it would have been this. This is the move. C5 is the move there. C5 is the move because if we go here, we take it here and then we fork. And they can attack our queen here, hoping that we take and they can save the knight, but we just take the knight, they take our queen, and we take back with the pawn. That's what we missed. Okay, so interesting. That is how, and it also prevents the knight. It's good positionally because it prevents the knight accessing these squares. Now, if we play this, we gain a little bit of space. That's good, but our center becomes just a little bit more flimsy. And I'm curious what happens if, for instance, they just go here. Yes, the knight has lost access to the square, which is probably why, even though you can't access the square from here, is probably why this is inferior to f3. Because we have the ability to push c5 and prevent the knight reaching there. That's probably it. And then they have to go back and here and all this stuff. Okay. So that was a missed opportunity. I believe that's why the engine is going to shout at us a little bit. But our accuracy was 93.1% in this game, so you know we can't we can't turn our noses up at it too much. Now, this is the critical part of the game, where the structure of the position changed, the material, not the material balance so much, but the because I think it was still equal material, but the nature of the material in terms of us having that dark square bishop. Which ended up winning us the game because it was able to control all of those dark squares in white's part of the board. So now here, I think our opponent played f3, never play f3, of course. And this is another point we need to see. I didn't want to play this because I didn't want to encourage the knight to move here. And if they did do this, I'm pretty sure that's what White should have done when we come to the engine to see what the engine says. But this is the big mistake, and I, never play f3 for a very good reason. This, I'm pretty sure, is the killer move. Not okay. There's something else here then, huh? There was something else here. Huh. No. Here, 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 here. Oh. E5 is it E5? E5. Okay, let's say we play E5 and they don't take. I mean, maybe we just play it then. Maybe it's just good if they take it. If they take it though, what are we getting? What are we getting? I don't get it. Maybe it's not E5. Maybe it is just this. And if they take... No, I'm not... I have to say I'm not exactly seeing what this is. But okay, we take here. Alright. Now this is a part that I think our opponent should have played much better. I don't think we played it perfectly. It was playing a little bit for tricks. Just a little bit. But I guess at the end of the day, it's like, I know they can't go here because we just go here. Yeah, and if they block, well, first of all, if they go, they could go here, I guess. They could go here. No, but then we just take. They can't. They can't go there. If they go here, here, and block with the queen, we come back with check. They can block it there. Okay. Well, this is the critical parts of the game, which we played okay, I think. This is another mistake. All right, doesn't like that at all. Okay, because there's obviously an idea here that I'm not seeing right now. Maybe it's now that they can play this, and we can, is this it? Here, and now they go here. And here, maybe, I don't know. We attack the knight. I can go back. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we need to investigate, those critical moments. Again, it doesn't like this. Okay, we missed something here. Here? Is this it? Is it because they can play this? I thought this was good just because of how shit the knight was. The knight looked horrible. I was expecting at some point for them to play this, but I thought we had a good enough initiative where we at least had a little bit of time for that. So here, that was another mistake. Okay, we did have 5. They're dubious. They're not mistakes. They're just like dubious moves. It's like you were trying to play fast and loose with it. Okay. Here. That's not the move. Okay. Okay, that is the mistake. So here again, most likely. Then I was considering this. Here. We still can't play it. So here. Maybe he goes here, but then we just go here. Here. I suppose you can play the knight there, can't he? I can't really attack that rook another time. Okay, it doesn't like what we did, but okay. Now, this is the last point of the game that I wanted to see. Because a lot of his pawns are already on light squares, he's not going to move these, really, unless we provoke them into Silksong. But here, this is all light square stuff. I didn't like the idea of this, here. Queen has to go back. No, sorry, queen doesn't go back. King comes up, we come behind. Here. Attacking this. This is weak. We can't defend it because it's on a light square. The king can come up here and take it. I don't think that's winning. So I think this is going to be the best move. Now, I was kind of expecting, I don't know, you could go here, for example. Maybe, but then if the queen moves literally if the queen moves here, then we just have this. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what else our opponent could have done. I was expecting this, and this. We do end up being up quite a bit of material here. This is the line I was expecting to kind of run into. I'm not really sure if our opponent can really do anything there, but let's go over those little fine points very quickly. Give me the moves. Okay. So, boom. Queen here. All right. This is not a good move. Our opponent should meet us in the middle with c4. Not a very London-y kind of move, but you have to be flexible in the opening depending on what your opponent plays, and this is a good example of playing a system opening like the London and not having any flexibility in your play. Okay, not good. We should have taken, though. We should have taken before they have a chance to do this. Okay. Here. Now they can't do this later, but we can go here. All right, okay. So we should have taken. Developing is second best, but it's okay. Now we should have went after the bishop. Bishop to e5, here. Okay, this is bad, but it's not the worst because the light square bishop is their good bishop, but at least we have the bishop pair should the position open up later. e6, it just wants us to close. This is equal, but it just wants us to close it up maybe, or like back to f6, something like that. Okay. But we chose to play this, and it is just looking for us to take that central pawn every single time. I thought we would play this slow move, lost a little bit of the initiative there, but okay. They take, we take. Now it's equal. All the way back to h7 was better, but this is okay. Takes. Oh, knight to d7 to push this. I like it. Okay. Just take the bishop out of the game. All right. Stuff to learn. Bishop to e2 here. They were looking to challenge us with the light square bishop, which, you know, from a sort of with a fresh perspective now, I can kind of see that this is their good bishop, and maybe we shouldn't have been afraid to trade it off. But yeah, we can see here that c5 is the move. Just like we said, this was the critical moment here, and now they can't play this. Not only do they lose their strong bishop here, but they also lose this. Queen d4, takes, and takes. And they can't take this pawn. So, I mean, I don't know how much material we're up there. Piece and a pawn. That was the critical move that we missed. Okay. Knight to e4. It is just saying to take the bishop. Knight e4 is battling for top spot. It is also just like in castles. I think all of these moves are going to be roughly the same. Knight e4 is best. Okay. Queen c2 was best. And now it was looking f5 immediately here as one of the options. It was, but not anymore. Okay. And e5 was the move. e5 was the move here. This is good though, here, and it is e5. Okay, let's investigate this a little bit. So let's just say they go back. All right. Knight f2. Ah, yes, I did. I seen that before. I seen we were. Okay. Okay, it's the e1. Yeah. Rook to g1. Oh, because they're threatening mate. Right, and here. Oh, we have time. Okay. Yeah, a lot of missed opportunities there. Okay. Now what happens if they take? If they take E8, okay, what if they just take here, here? I guess they can't really take. Oh, they can't take. Huh? Huh. Damn. Okay. Jeez. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I could just see that E5 caused chaos. What if they just... Well, okay, we haven't investigated this yet. So here, here, and they still... Oh, no, they can't take now. Okay, here, here. So we trade here, 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 and now we're at E8. Maybe just this, no? No, here. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, we actually missed quite a lot of stuff in this, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way it is sometimes. Here, here, and here. Yeah, I mean, we're up 2 pawns here, but obviously weak king, devastating position. Okay, so E5 was the move. That's okay. So back here, take. Here, we're still winning, just not quite the -10 that was in the last position. So C5 was the move here. They just take here. I guess the point is that they can't really block these anymore. Right. So here, here, here. D2. E5 they can't take. A5, yeah. G6. Okay. Interesting lines. I thought we didn't play this part correctly, but okay. E5 again, it's just asking for E5 constantly. I guess it stops this. All right. Okay, yeah, it wanted this to prevent this. That's, I think, essentially what it boils down to. But okay, we played this. We played A4 first, of course, it's just the knight away. It's saying we should have just played here and here. Okay, this was a mistake. Break the D, it was good. Now here we should have taken immediately. But I specifically wanted to induce this though. Okay, now it's calling rook to D5 an inaccuracy, but F20 is literally the best move. Let's see. It was saying rook takes D1 was best, but I want to see if it changes here because it's still the best move and like quite a bit so. It's still there. That's 27. It's still not changing. I thought rook d5 was a great move. The engine's not telling me anything else. So maybe if we had let the analysis run just a little bit longer, it would have seen this. Because it seems to be, well, not substantially. They're both good. But yeah, and we can see the other move here is this to target this pawn, but I thought I could go back, couldn't I? Then we control the open file, so But yeah, I'm happy at depth 27 that rook d5 is the best move in the position. I don't know what the engine's talking about there. So, e4 best move, takes. Check the king again, e2 back to the same position. Now, I thought that if they did this, if they went here, can't we go here? Here, here, here. Okay. Maybe not. Okay, we can't go here, preventing them from doing this. So then we go here. So if they go here, let's look at this line. Here, here. They can't push this pawn. All right, so what else do they do? They just push over here. Now rook d4. Now b3. A takes. Queen a6. It's got nowhere to go. Here, here. We don't just take the free knight. This is better. Okay. Now we do it. Okay, I don't know what was worse about playing it just straight away. What's worse about this? Oh, he takes our own bishop. Ah. Okay. So here, what if, I suppose, because if we play this, if he blocks any other way, or if he, well, what if he moves? What if he moves to here? Ah, then we're threatening this. He still doesn't have time. Okay, sure, here, and then he can push the pawn. Here. His knight is still trapped. Yeah, okay, so that was it. The bishop was hanging at the end. Okay. So here, f4, best, and rook d2 is best. Okay, that makes me happy. Okay, here was the only way to stay in the game. b3. Okay. Okay, but we're up a freaking queen for God's sake. So that was maybe the best way. So either way, I think, yeah, this is probably better. This makes more sense. Here, and here, at least keep the rook on the board. But then here, it doesn't work. So if here, same sort of tactic here. Queen is this though. c4. The knight is just dead. Okay. Well, 3 c5 against the London. Very worthwhile investigating. We'll probably get more gains because I think I'm going to switch to this, because even though we did not play it perfectly, we had an accuracy of 93%, but even though we didn't play it perfectly, we were able to maneuver about sufficiently well enough to be able to win the game. And that's good to beat London players at their own game, you know? So anyway, thanks for tuning in. We just about got there with the ChessNut move. We didn't need to shift to the computer for too long, but I think we're going to keep this going for a little while. So we are back to our winning ways, which is nice to see. Let's just check what we got up to there. I didn't even check how many rating points we got for that. So we are over 2,000. I didn't even realize that. 2011. Nice. All right, well, we're not going to shy away. We don't want to just sit on our rating because I think we can keep going. So we'll play again, and we'll play again with the ChessNut move. And let's hope we can keep climbing. See you all next time.